Welcome. Today, we're going to tear down and rebuild one of the most powerful frameworks for success out there, Brian Tracy's blueprint. We're talking mindset to mastery, a complete masterclass on building a business that actually works. Ready? Let's jump in.
All right, let's kick things off with a little thought experiment. Picture this, you're at a dinner, and sitting at your table are Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. Someone leans in and asks them, hey, what's the one single quality that's most crucial for success? What do you think their answer would be? I mean, these are two of the most successful people on the planet. What would they say?
Well, Brian Tracy tells this story, and he says they both looked at each other, turned back, and said the exact same word at the exact same time. Focus. That's it, one word. And, it's the absolute bedrock of getting anything done in this crazy, distracted world we live in. It's really that simple. If you can focus, you can win. If you can't, well, you're not going to get very far.
Okay, so focus is the answer. Great. But focus on what, right? I mean, focus is totally useless if you're pointing it at the wrong stuff. So the real question becomes, what is our most valuable work? And I'll tell you right now, the answer is probably not what you think it is.
So get this, according to Brian Tracy, the most valuable, the highest paid work you can possibly do is just thinking. Yep, thinking. Why? Because the quality of your thinking literally determines the quality of your entire life. Think about it. Every major decision has major consequences. So if you want better results, you got to start with better thinking. It's the ultimate leverage point.
So, how do we get better at thinking? Well, first, we have to understand there are two different kinds, a concept made famous by Nobel Prize winner Daniel Kahneman. You've got fast thinking and slow thinking. Fast thinking is your gut instinct. It's automatic, like deciding what to eat for lunch. Slow thinking is deliberate, analytical. It's for the big stuff, like who to hire or what business to start. And here's the biggest trap, especially for entrepreneurs. We fall in love with our gut and use that fast, intuitive thinking for everything, including the massive decisions that can make or break us.
So the question is, how do we actually force ourselves to slow down and engage that high-quality, slow-thinking mode? Well, this is where it gets super practical. Tracy gives us 3 incredibly powerful mental tools to get that clarity.
All right, tool number 1 is called zero-based thinking. I love this. You can think of it like a giant reset button for your life and your business. Its entire purpose is to help you hunt down and eliminate all the baggage you're carrying. The projects, the people, the commitments, the energy vampires that are just dragging you down.
And to use this tool, you have to ask yourself one brutally honest question. Here it is. Knowing what I now know, is there anything I'm currently doing that I wouldn't start again today? Think about it. That employee, would you hire them again today? That product line, would you launch it today? That partnership, would you get into it today? And if the answer is no, well, then there's only one question left. How do you get out, and how fast can you do it?
Okay, let's build on that with tool number 2. This one is all about tackling fear. It's called WPO, or identifying the worst possible outcome. You see, fear is a terrible business partner. It just clouds your judgment. This technique forces you to stare it right in the face. You ask, what is the absolute worst thing that could happen here? Then you ask, could I survive it? Can I live with it? And you know what? Most of the time, the answer is yes. And just by doing that, you dissolve the fear. Your mind gets clear, and you can start planning to make sure that worst-case scenario never actually happens.
And this brings us to tool number 3, the principle of constraints. This one is a total game changer, seriously. The idea is simple. Between you and any goal you have, there's always one single thing that's holding you back the most. A bottleneck. Your entire job is to find that one bottleneck and attack it. But here's the kicker, the part that's tough to swallow. Tracy says that 80% of the time, that constraint, it's internal. It's not the market, it's not the economy, it's you, or something inside your business.
So how do you find your main internal constraint? Ask yourself this incredibly powerful question. What one skill, if I was absolutely excellent at it, would help me the most to double my income? Now be honest. The answer is probably something you hate doing, right? Maybe it's public speaking, or sales, or managing people. But whatever that skill is, that is your single fastest path to blowing your goals out of the water.
All right, so we've got our mental toolkit. We know how to think clearly and find our focus. Now let's zoom out and apply this thinking to the actual structure of a business. Brian Tracy has this amazing 7-part blueprint for what makes a company truly great. And here they are, the 7 greats of business. Tracy has a brilliant way of explaining this. He says it's like a 7-digit phone number.
If you have 6 digits right but one is wrong, the call just doesn't connect. It all has to work together. You start with great leadership, that's your vision. That leads to a great product. You need a great business plan and a great marketing plan to get it out there. Then a great sales plan to actually close deals. You have to track it all with great numbers, and you wrap it all up with great customer service. A weakness in just one of these areas can bring the whole house of cards down.
Now, all 7 of those are critical. You can't skip any. But Tracy says one of them is more important than all the others combined. He says a staggering 90% of your business success comes down to having a great product or service. 90%. You can't market your way out of a mediocre product. You can't sell your way out of it. It all starts with the product.
And Tracy tells this perfect story to drive the point home. He knew this guy, a super successful restaurant owner named Mitch, and his places were always packed, lines out the door, with zero advertising. So Tracy asked him, "Mitch, what's your secret?" And Mitch just said, "We always put it on the plate." That was it. He was obsessed with one thing, putting amazing food on the plate at a fair price. He knew if he did that, the customers would do all the marketing for him.
So, how do you know if you've got a great product? It's not about your opinion or what your team thinks. It's about customer behavior. The test is dead simple. Number 1, do people buy it? Number 2, do they come back and buy it again? And the final, ultimate test, do they bring their friends? When people are telling their friends to buy your stuff, that's when you know you've officially put it on the plate.
And that brings us right back to the beginning. We started with focus, right? We learned the mental tools, zero-based thinking, worst possible outcome, and the principle of constraints to help us think clearly. Now you have the blueprint, the 7 greats of business. So here's the final and most important question I have for you. Which one of these 7 is your biggest constraint right now? Which one is the bottleneck holding you back? Because whatever your answer is, that is where you need to put all of your focus.